good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ogbanje Joseph. Please, please, please subscribe to this channel, share, like, as well as drop a comment on the comment section. So today we're going to be looking at, Godfatherism and impeachment in Rivers State, Nigeria. Godfatherism and impeachment in Rivers State, Nigeria. It is actually an unfolding event, so we're going to be running a series on that. So today we're going to be looking at the concept of Godfatherism. Concept of Godfatherism. Now, Godfatherism is from the word Godfather, which in turn is derived from the concept God and Father. Now, God with a capital G means a being worshipped by the Jews, Christians, Islamic religion, and some other religions, religions, while God with a small g refers to being held by some people as the maker or sustainer of an aspect of reality, a person to whom great importance is attached to. Okay, so when you are going to analyze it, so analogously, we are looking at, that, analogously, the word Godfather and Godchild, okay, being the person for whom one takes responsibility by making promises to help, to help grow in a sphere of life. While the Godfather with a small g, okay, just Godfather means one who makes a promise to see that the Godchild grows and matures in an aspect of life, okay, whether religion, politics, and other endeavors. Don't forget that in the Christendom, there is something they call Godfather and Godson, particularly in the Orthodox churches. When there is a baptism that is about to take place, or a sacrament is about to take place, now the receiver of the sacrament is expected to actually present, somebody that will be more mature, more experienced, older in so many cases, okay, to the receiver of the sacrament, so that the person will become a mentor, a guidance, and somebody that would be directing or advising whenever, the receiver is at the crossroad. Okay, so the idea of Godfather connotes importance, notability, eminence, prominence, significance, weightiness, reliability, greatness of somebody, as well as driving home to the Godchild the idea of capability, experience, pragmatism, and resourcefulness. Now, its adversarial, okay, or positive impact depends on the personality of the Godchild. Okay, it depends on the personality of the Godchild. So, as a student of political science or as a student of politics, of course, we know that, the explanation tells further, that under normal circumstances, the role of the Godfather in governance could advance the cause of alleviating problems, while on the other hand, it can aggravate an existing problem. So, conversely, some leaders have been orchestrated into office through Godfatherism, only to use same trust, to destroy their states and hopes, reposed in them. Okay, so in Nigerian politics, or in politics around the world generally, Godfatherism has always been there. In the United States of America, for example, Abraham Lincoln has actually, you know, Abraham Lincoln, and several other political leaders have actually been accused of actually having political godfathers. Okay, now if you come to Africa, for example, you find out that the example that is actually very prominent is about Mobutu Sese Seko. Now, he was actually a godchild or a godson to the colonial masters. And as he was doing the biddings of the colonial masters, that I'm talking about the former colonial masters, so he was actually amassing wealth, to himself. But over time, these colonial masters actually thought, and they saw the evil of the Godfatherism that was being perpetrated, and they decided to actually pull out the rugs from his legs. And what happened? Okay, eventually he was actually, driven from the state. He went abroad, and then he was jailed, and that was where he actually died. Okay, now if you come to Nigeria, we have God positive Godfatherism and negative Godfatherism. Okay, don't forget that the Awolowos, the Nnamdi Azikiwes, the the Amadu Bellos, these were icons. Okay, these were political godfathers that actually left a lot of legacies, for the succeeding generation of politicians to actually learn from. They actually lived lives, of impeccable character. Okay, a lot of people actually refer to the legacies of, the legacies of Amadu Bello, the legacies of Awolowo, as well as Nnamdi Azikiwe. But in contemporary modern Nigerian politics, Godfatherism has not actually yielded any good fruit. Rather, what has happened is that godfathers plant, they plant their godsons or godchild or godchildren, as the case may be, and then the next thing is that they want to be in full control of the states where they actually planted those godchildren. But it is actually very imperative to note that what is important is that you can actually show the way to a godson, you can show the way to a godchild, but you should not at every point in time, have this entitlement mentality that the person will continue to be entitled to you. If not for anything, we have seen that in Nigerian politics, okay, now several kingmakers, okay, we are talking about Obasanjo, we are talking, is it in Anambra, is it in Gombe, is it in Plateau State, is it in Ekiti State, is it in Lagos State? Several states of Nigeria has actually experienced, the issue of Godfatherism, and the tale is not actually a very palatable one, because most times the godsons that are planted in the government houses actually become, they revolt against their godfathers and they become the godfather themselves. Okay, in the case of Rivers State, Fubara was actually the accountant general of the state under the Nyesom Wike administration. Now, because he actually showed level-headedness and showed gentility, Nyesom Wike thought that, or felt that, if he plants him in the government house, he will be answerable to him. And so, just 5 months ago, that he actually was sworn into the government house. Okay, now just 5 months later, Nyesom Wike felt that his grip over the state is actually gradually going away from him, and so he decides to actually ensure that he teaches the sitting governor a lesson. It is actually quite imperative to note that a whole lot of, from experience, okay, a sitting governor actually has so much enormous powers. And so the best thing that Nyesom Wike should do right now is to just leave this fight. In fact, both of them should actually sheath their sword, because what is important right now is governance. 5 months into this administration, and this kind of news, very bad news, is actually coming out of Rivers State. It is actually very unfortunate. Unfortunate because, the State House of Assembly has, a part of it has been destroyed already. Okay, owing to this fight between the political godfather and the political godson. What is important is that the people of Rivers State will actually be at the receiving end right now, because governance is going to be punctuated, and the fight, the ruffle fight, will continue. Now, the political godson, which is the present governor, will not actually sit down and watch power, being taken out of his hands. Now, this issue of godfatherism and then political godson actually turning against the godfather, unfortunately, has always happened. In somewhere in the Middle East, the son of the president actually chased his father from the seat and became the president. It happened in Kwara State, where Olushola Saraki, actually the father of Bukola Saraki, was actually shown the way out of, or retired from politics by his own son, biological son, owing to the fact that both of them actually fell apart. What is important is that at every point in time, the political godfather, puts the political godson in power. The political godfather should actually tread with caution, because power is something that is, power is something that corrupts, and corrupts absolutely. In this case, nobody tests power. Nobody tests power and want to just relinquish power just like that. Now it is an unfolding event, and we'll continue to actually have, series on that until this issue actually, dies down to an extent. Thank you very much.